Join UF Hall of Famer and 14-year NFL vet Shane Matthews every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about your Florida Gators, including news, analysis, and opinions with some of the biggest names in sports. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, or watch us live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Good morning and welcome to a live edition of PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. Large enough to serve you, small enough to care. I want to thank Sean Kelly, voice of the Gators, for our introduction today. Today is Tuesday. Happy Halloween to everyone. For all you youngsters out there or have youngsters, have fun tonight. Be safe and hope the weather. If you're up, man, the weather's bad, like up north and even up in the North Mississippi area. It's very, very cold. So, if you missed it last night, my Detroit Lions, who I picked to go to the Super Bowl, take care of the Raiders, and the Texas Rangers take a 2-1 lead over the D-backs. Game 4 is tonight. So got that to talk about. We got Buddy Martin here in just a second, and then we have a million texts. I'm going to try to get to a bunch of them today, and I'm sure you got a lot of questions for Buddy Martin. Good morning, Buddy. How you doing, my man?
Good morning. I looked up at the sky today and actually in the eastern sky, and the sun came up.
Yes, it did.
Believe it. You can't believe it. It actually came up. So,
and we have good. Buddy Martin on the Titan Tomorrow hotline, courtesy of Duffield Home Improvements. Yeah, buddy, it is what it is. I've said yesterday, I even said it on the air Saturday. We were just an overmatched football team. Mm-hmm. There's no ifs, ands, buts. People can bitch, complain about this, that, and the other. Georgia's better than us in every phase. We have a long ways to go to catch up with them, but all you can do is keep plugging away and trying to get there.
Jane, I was going to ask you this question on the show last night, but we had so many other things going on. So when you were playing in the SEC, when you finally got to play, start, did you notice that how hard it was to escape the defensive tackles and people coming at you? Because this is the thing that people don't realize, how fast these big guys are. It's amazing. And sometimes remember the Ohio State team that Florida beat for the national championship? They underestimated the speed of their defensive linemen. And that's what I saw, among other things. And pretty much a complete domination of the Gators. So you're right. They're better, and they're going to be better for a while.
Oh, they ain't going anywhere. I talked about it for a long time yesterday. Shelby on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, says 4th and 1 foot. Billy says double reverse with the pass, sure-fired winner. I don't know what that means. Again, I have zero problem with the call. If it works, ain't none of y'all talking. I want to bring up, I don't know how many of our listeners saw the clips from Dabo Sweeney's press call-in show. Mm-hmm. If you haven't seen it, go to Twitter. I absolutely loved it. I thought Dabo was spot on. Whether he should have replied to that call or not, I don't care. Sometimes people have had enough, and then you go listen to that. That is the reason why Stephen Orr Spurrier left to go to the National Football League. Go listen to it, people. It's unbelievable. And Dabo is spot on.
Well, I didn't hear it, but I have the quote, and I read it, and it was pretty amazing. I would disagree with you just a little bit on the Spurrier thing, but you're right in principle. I think it was general disrespect of Steve, what he done there by a lot of people. So, looking back on what this guy did was just a miracle, and people were taking it for granted. They wanted more. And when you're in a situation where you're having to settle for a berth in the Orange Bowl or something, you shouldn't be apologizing for it. And I think we all learned our lesson that when you got something good going, you better hang on to it and you better appreciate it. And that's the lesson learned from Steve Spurrier.
Yes, for sure. Andy on Facebook Live, brought to you by Melon Law, says, Shane, where will Dabo get $11 million now? I'm not sure.
He doesn't need it. He doesn't need it. What's he need $11 million for?
I mean, Dabo, they've won 10, 11, 12 games for like 10 straight years, 2 national titles. The only 2 other people won 2 national titles in the last 7 years, as he states in that, is Alabama and Georgia. Look, I think Dabo's a tremendous football coach. They're struggling this year. There's no way about it. But that's the problem. Fans don't get it. You have every right to complain, but you're going to run your coach out of town. I'm telling you. So there'll be a lot of teams in America that would want Dabo Swinney as their
I'll tell you
football
one
coach.
place they could take get love me in Michigan. Because they might be without a coach. Or you've seen that story. They decided not to hold off on this raise for Harbaugh, the biggest contract in history, and he, because stealing signals, which we all know everybody does, he tried to take it to a new level, and then kind of just sort of semi denied it, and he's getting in deeper every day, Shane.
Yeah, it's bad. There's no question about that. Now that I saw something this morning that kid that's suspended or that was doing all the spying was on the sidelines with Jim McElwain at Central Michigan when Central Michigan played Michigan State, because McElwain used to be there with Harbaugh, I believe, as an assistant. So it just something else comes out every day.
Wow.
All right, let me put this to bed here. We've had multiple people the last few days. They obviously don't watch my show in its entirety or every day. It's about Kerwin Bell being the offensive coordinator. That ain't gonna happen. Okay, so I'm gonna let y'all know one more time. Kerwin's one of my closest friends. Kerwin has been in charge of his football program everywhere he's been. He built Trinity Catholic from the ground up. Success. Goes to JU, head coach, wins a championship there. Success. He gets hired at Valdosta State. He's in charge as the head coach, wins a national championship. For some reason, he decides, I'm going to take the leap of faith and go be the offensive coordinator for Charlie Strong at USF. Disaster. He's out of football for a year or two. Western Carolina hires him. They're in the top 10, top 15 of FCS now in year 3. He will not work for someone else. So let's put that to bed, because it was the worst mistake of his coaching career going to be the offensive coordinator for Charlie Strong. Okay. So that ain't going to happen, people. It ain't going to happen. So hopefully I put that to rest.
Okay.
All right. Here's from 941. He says, lots of O-line talent in the portal we missed on this year. Would you agree we've got to get after it early this year and not take so long to evaluate? Looking at UF cover grades, when do we start playing young kids like Jakeem Jackson? Florida cover grades, Jason Marshall Jr., 56, Jaden Hill, 73, Jalen Kimber, 50. A lot of that, I understand what people see. A lot of it has to do, we can't pressure the quarterback. It's like 7-on-7. If I mean, hell, I could run routes and get open. So anyway,
you got to protect your quarterback too, and we got a problem on that, especially the right tackle position.
Kevin says they will run Kirby out eventually. Nature of the beast.
I don't think so.
That's a good point, but I don't think so either. I think they got a perfect freaking scenario there.
Well, Kirby might win 2 more and quit. I don't know. Who knows? Because it does turn your stomach. Have you ever been in a job where you felt totally unappreciated and you just felt like, well, I don't care how much they pay me, I'm not going to stay here? You ever have that?
Correct. Greg says, well, Billy Napier is no Steve Spurrier or Dabo. So this has nothing to do with Billy Napier, Greg. I'm telling you how crazy fan bases are in today's world with social media. Like Perry Mason says here on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing. Miles Graham, one of our top recruits, deleted or either put his Twitter account on hold because of the stupid fans. So I'm just saying, and football, sports, it's great because we have shows like this, buddy. But I try to tell people, just because you sit and watch football does not mean you know football or baseball or whatever, and this is not a shot at anyone, because I've told multiple of my friends that think they know that, come draw up a play against a 4-3 defense, 3-4 bear defense, whatever it may be, with a couple of stunts, TE games, rolling your coverage. Now tell me what everybody does. People can't do that. They can't. But everybody thinks they're an expert, and I get it, because Billy Napier knows more football than I do. He knows more football than you do. He knows more football than 99% of the people that watch my show. All right. So that's my
But
rant today.
Shane, remember one thing. There are three things that people are experts on, okay? Remember this. How to run a restaurant. Everybody knows how to run a restaurant. How to build a fire, all right? And how to call football plays. They're all experts in those.
Well, there are a lot of experts in a lot of things.
Of course, these are people you're talking about, though. How to call ball plays.
Natasha says on Facebook Live, what irks her, let me find it again, are the Gator fans who are beating down our players. Love Pearsall coming to Mertz's defense, but hate he had to do that. We will turn recruits by being a horrible Florida fan base. It's just not here. It's everywhere. And then James says we need an OC. I totally disagree with that. I need people to tell me why we need an OC, because let me go back. Billy was hired, buddy, correct me if I'm wrong here. Was Billy sought after by any other schools or just the Florida Gators?
Oh, there were other teams that wanted to hire him.
Yes, there were multiple Power Five schools.
SEC schools that wanted to hire him.
Correct, and he had turned down several the last few years before he even decided to come here.
Auburn would love to have had him.
Yeah. So my point to the story is he was sought after because he was the play caller. He was the head coach. Mm-hmm. He comes here. Everybody's got to bitch and complain about it. I understand. But that's what he did. That's what got him the job. Okay. People need to look at statistics on the defensive side of the ball. Okay.
Yeah.
We are basically the same we were last year.
A little better if you look at the numbers. I saw some numbers last night. The numbers look better. Well, I can read them off if you want, but anyway.
We didn't.
I test you're right. Only I test you're absolutely right. They just start that much better.
No, they're not. And so John says he loves being the 1% that doesn't know football.
I like John already.
Andy wants to know, QB, are the wide receivers open and we are missing them? No. We hit majority of our quarterback is completing like 80% of his passes. Seems we don't get open unless we run quick hitters. Look, it's a combination of a lot of stuff. If you didn't see nothing against Damian George, he could not block their guy. He couldn't even get a hand on their guy.
Could not block him.
So anyway, Natasha wants to know, she agrees about the OC, but what about special teams? Special teams have been a disaster. Here's the other thing that I think some people we don't have an official special teams guy in our 10 coaching staff. Chris Couch is off the field, but he is the coordinator. But if anybody's played football, this is how special teams works. Okay, buddy, you may be the special teams coordinator. Billy Gonzalez helps with kickoff return and punt return. He's responsible for the returners. Okay, the O-line and usually linebacker coaches are responsible for the up backs on punt team and the front guys. Mm-hmm. Everybody on the entire coaching staff is part of special teams. Mm-hmm. Just like everybody is a part of defensive play calling. Everybody is a part of offensive play calling. It's just not one guy. So,
anyway. Shane, can I say something on that? Mm-hmm. We all know Urban actually coached special teams. That was his job, one of his jobs. He was in charge of that. You had to earn a spot on the team by coming to the special teams to get a job someplace else. He put his best players within reason, not his quarterbacks, on special teams. And so it's the optics, Shane, we're talking about here. The optics. Who is the special teams coach? Picture? Don't have a picture of it. We don't know who he is because part of what you said, because it's by committee. Here's the one that bothers me. I can see them maybe deciding Billy just maybe not call plays forever because Coach Berger gave it up once, right? Or twice. Well, you think maybe you're just off your game that somebody called him for 1 year. But the thing that bothers me, Shane, you're the quarterback, timeout. You go into the huddle, and who's in there with you? The head coach, who's the offensive coordinator, or the offensive coordinator. And
most offensive coordinators are in the box.
Okay, but the guy who makes the decision was with you, Shane, talking in your ear.
Correct.
All right. Correct. The guy you got to talk to was right there in front of you. You ain't talking to the box where you call off the field, right? You're talking to the huddle. Now, he may be talking to the box. I'm just saying when you're the offensive coordinator, and Shane, look at me, who is that guy entitled? Rob Sale, okay? He's the offensive coordinator. Well, that's my point. It's the optics of it, Shane.
Yeah.
When you go into the huddle of the quarterback, you're the offense. When you're sitting and you're not even in the huddle with the quarterback, you say, "What's that all about?"
It's to pay. It's for pay.
I get it.
Yeah.
But it's the optics of not having that guy with the quarterback.
Shelby says we need an OC because Billy does not understand. He is no longer playing Pee Wee. That has nothing to do with it. Steve Spurrier came from Duke, people.
That's a cheap shot. That's a cheap shot.
Yeah, it's terrible take because I'm telling you right now, there are probably 15 head coaches. I'm just going off the top of my head that call plays. They're the head coach in Power 5 football. Chip Kelly, Lane Kiffin, Hugh Freeze. And they may say they have somebody else calling plays, but they don't. Trust me, they don't.
They make the final decisions.
Yes. So,
and by the way, that's not.
I'm not worried about the offense. I'm more worried about our defense than anything.
Well, back to one more point, and that is that Coach Spurrier talked about this last week when I sat with him. That one you talk to every week. He pointed out that they have quarterbacks who can audible. Shane, you could get an out of playing time you want to. All right. Now you're saying, wait a minute, the offensive coordinator call a play. Well, you don't like that play. You don't run that play. You check it. You check it and call it the play. The audible part of this, people forget about that. The offensive coordinator gives his quarterback the ability to change the play at the line of scrimmage. And Coach Spurrier did it all the time.
Yeah, but football, I don't know many teams that do that now. I do know Graham checked to a couple of really good runs Saturday, but they don't. Football, a lot of coaches just don't do that. They don't trust their quarterbacks, or they just don't. That's just not part of their system.
Is that good or bad?
It's both. I think it just depends on what kind of system and who your coach is and things like that.
You got, yeah.
Josh wants to know who I got in the East Lake Cup. I know we play Florida State today, so I'll take us beating Florida State, but I don't know what round that's in. This is from Daryl on the Titan MR text line. Good morning. Some fans are hollering we need to be stronger in the weight room. To me, it's about footwork, technique on the field, and be able to block correct. Yes. So I addressed this yesterday. I don't know if it was my show or Steve Russell's show. There's a difference. I was excited because we're a much bigger football team this year than we've been in the past. But just because you're big doesn't mean you're strong. And just because you're strong in the weight room does not mean you're going to push anybody around the football field. There's a difference. Okay, hang on a second. I gotta do this. James says bringing Sun Belt coach to an elite program 6-7 record is unacceptable. All right, I got a question to James. I don't know how old James is, but I wonder if James was around in 1990. I'm just asking.
What happened there, Shane?
But a guy came from Duke University.
Oh, Duke, they don't care. They can't coach.
That was not even an established coach, and it wasn't even the Duke of today. It was really bad Duke. Okay. Came in here and won games. So I don't agree with that at all. Urban came from Bowling Green in Utah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's terrible. That's a terrible take. Terrible. You have your right, but that's terrible.
You sound like Dabo more every day.
I'm a huge Dabo fan.
That's why I
agree with
you and
Dabo
right here.
Because I'm telling you right now, if our people listening have not heard the Dabo interview or call-in show, it's all over Twitter. Listen,
your producer guy has got it for you, probably.
But he doesn't know if it's gonna. He doesn't know if the sound will go through.
Okay. All
right. It is the reason why the greatest coach we ever had departed here. One of the reasons, I should say. Tommy says, does Bill, this is on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing. Does Billy have the same amount of support academically, monetarily, and facilities wise as equal to or better than any other SEC school? I don't know the exact answer to that. I would say it's top 5 in the SEC. I mean, we don't put the money into the football program like Alabama and Georgia do. Not even close. So, do you have any answer on that, buddy?
I don't, but I have something to say about Billy and something to say about needing a person to support you at a time. I get it why fans are aggravated and frustrated, and everybody is. I'm going to ask you a question, Shane, and look me in the eye and give me the answer. Did you ever have, I know the answer already, Did you ever have a guardian angel show up in your life at just the right time? And they did? I'll answer it for you. Yes, you did. His name was Steve Spurrier.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Okay.
All right. So what Billy needs right now is something like that. I'm going to tell you, I had a guy, his name was Hugh Cunningham. In my life in journalism school, I was about to just quit life. I was so disappointed. He called me and sat me down and said, look, you are going to be an editor one day. You know, you need to stay here and do this. You can be really good one day. He believed in me, Shane. What was it like for you, Shane, to have Steve Spurrier believe in you? Changed your life, Shane, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So I don't know who that person can be for Billy. Arthur can be one, but that's the kind of thing he needs to get over the hump. Now, I'm not saying everybody rally around Billy, write emails. I'm just saying, personally, if you have a guardian angel show up and say, it's going to be all right, you do this, you'll be fine. Just someone to believe in you, Shane. You had Steve Spurrier. I had Hugh Cunningham. I just want to say that.
Yeah, Reggie, I agree with what Reggie says here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mount. Some coaches just have a feel for the game. Can Billy recruit and build a program? 100% is his end game. Is timing is way off. That's
everything is saying everything is right time, right place.
Well,
everything.
Right, but again, and I get tired of talking about it. But if you look at the great football programs that have won national titles in the last 50 years, they are Hall of Fame coaches. Okay, think about this, buddy. Steve Spurrier brings Florida their first official SEC title. And I know Galen and Charlie Pell had a couple two good. Galen especially had a really good team that probably needs to be recognized. But let's just put that aside. Spurrier wins 7 SECs in 12 years and a national title. Okay, something that's never been done. All right, he leaves. We hire Ron Zook. I like Ron Zook. Recruited his tail off.
Beat Georgia twice.
He gets fired. Urban comes in, and he's another one of those special type coaches that they just don't fall off trees. He wins 2 national titles. Okay. He leaves or whatever happened. He's gone. You hire Muschamp, who's a very good football coach, but can't win the championships. Then you hire McElwain. He can't win a championship. Mullen can't win a championship. So I think people think just because it's got a damn gator head on it, that you're going to win a championship. That ain't the case, folks, because Alabama, look at that big elephant, okay? They only won under Bear Bryant. They only won under Gene Stallings, and they've only won under Nick Saban. And they've had a ton of coaches. So we hope Billy can get it done. But I think people sometimes don't live in reality.
Here's the reality. And I will say my colleague Franz Beard wrote a column on this on Gatorbait, by the way. If you're not subscribing, you ought to try it out. GatorbaitMedia.com. This is what he wrote. And I agree with this. 8 games into his first season as Florida's head coach, Billy Napier was 4-4 and coming off a 42-20 loss to number 1 ranked Georgia. The Gators won their next 2 games and closed out the season with 3 straight losses, including a 30-3 hosing by Oregon State in the Las Vegas Bowl, the first losing season of a Napier career. A year later, the Gators are 5-3, coming off of the 43-20 loss with 4 games to play in the regular season, trending toward keyword a second straight 6-7 finish. Your thoughts? France wrote that this morning.
I mean, it's possible, but I mean, you still got to play the game. I mean, you never know. I'm one of those guys that let's go play the game and see what happens. Greg says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, that Spurrier left us, but he came home. People need to know that story. The people in charge here did not want to hire him. It was a couple like insurance guys and some other people that got in and got him hired here.
Spurrier?
Yeah.
You want to know the real story of it? I lived it.
Right. But what I'm saying is the people in charge did not want to hire him.
That's correct. That's correct. Yes. And Arnsberger did his best not to.
Correct.
I talked to Arnsberger during that period of time. I was following it closely. You know, I can tell you there was not a whole 100% consensus that Spurrier was the right guy. I had lunch with Arnsberger 5 weeks before Steve was hired and said, what kind of progress are you making on the coaching deal? He said, "Oh, I don't know. There's probably some bright young assistant coach out there." That's what he said. I wrote it in the Jacksonville paper. He was talking about a bright young assistant coach doing. If it wasn't for the new president at Florida, who got on the plane and went up with a couple of people to get Steve, make sure he got hired, it might never have gotten done. Like you said, it wasn't a slam dunk to hire the greatest coach in the history of the school, right?
Oh, definitely. Reggie has a good point here. But I promise you, Reggie, if this had happened, he says maybe Utah is our feeder program. Whittingham should have been the hire. Kyle Whittingham's a great football coach, but I can promise you, if he was coaching the Gators for the last 10, 15 years, people would be bitching and complaining
They
like
run him.
no
They
other
run him off the first season.
about his offense.
Mm-hmm.
Promise you. I promise you. So, Rose Ogre State Farm owns a team of dedicated insurance professionals ready to help life go right with the right insurance options for you and your family. Visit ogreinsurance.com. Give them a call at 352-240-1779. Speaking with Buddy Martin here on the Titan Tomorrow Hotline. He's also courtesy of Duffield Home Improvements. Buddy, going back to me predicting us to win 8 games, I mean, it still may happen. I don't know if it will or not, but what I saw was the skill players on offense. I don't pay attention to interior play. Plus, you can't tell anything until you play games.
Scrimmages, they don't even really go. They don't go good on good necessarily. So
right, but even in a scrimmage, you can't tell if you're O line or D line. You can't tell if they're worth a darn.
No,
but you can tell if you can throw a catch. We can throw and catch, and we got 2 really good running backs. That's what got me excited. So we'll see. But the biggest thing is we did get bigger in the portal. We've got to get bigger, stronger, and faster in the portal.
Faster is a key word right there. Keyword. The speed is a lot of difference in the speed of Florida and Georgia. A lot.
All right. Wicked Fresh says here on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing. I just want to know what is being taught at DB. What is it? They play man and don't try to locate the ball. Corey Raymond,
one of the best
defensive back coach. So
one of the best.
I'll leave it at that. Chris says the Gators aren't winning 8 games. You never know, Chris. If anybody thinks Florida State is that good, y'all have not watched them play.
Well, Missouri's a lot better now. That's the only thing now we didn't figure out.
Yeah, Missouri.
Other than that, winnable game Saturday. They should win that game. They got a shot against FSU. You think you're going to win? I'm not sure. And I think it's an L in Baton Rouge. That's my opinion. That right now. Now, I don't know what's going to happen next week. Teams change. People get hurt. Things go on. Upsets happen. But you cannot measure the whole season by what happened against Georgia.
Okay, I need to answer this question here. This is from Tommy brought to you by Melton Law. He says, my concern is who is supervising all the other coaches, players, and other components of the team while coach is teaching his offense. No one can replace the head coach's supervision.
It's a very good point. It's a very good point.
But it's not. I mean, I guess it is to the general public.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me tell you how this works. Nick Saban is the head coach of Alabama. Do you know what he does during practice? He goes over with the defense. Kirby Smart is the head coach of Georgia. You know what he does? He goes with the defense. Billy Napier is the head coach of the Gators. He goes with the offense. Steve Spurrier was the head coach of everywhere he's been. He goes over with the offense. That's what most head coaches, that whatever their specialty is, that's where they go. They don't just but back in the day, you used to have people go, head coach just go sit up there and not do a damn thing.
Bear Bryant sat in the tower.
Okay, well, that don't happen anymore, buddy. There ain't one coach sitting in the tower. Dabo goes over with the offense at Clemson.
Yeah.
Okay. Mike Norvell, he goes with the offense at Florida State. So they have a plan. They meet. It's not. People think they just roll the ball out.
What does Kirby do? Kirby works the defense, right?
He goes to the defense. Kirby can't call a damn play. Urban used to go. What do you go with the special teams?
No, he went all three
because he's not really an offensive guy.
Yeah, he is. No, he's an offensive guy. He coached wide. Oh yeah, he called plays. He coached wide receivers at several places, including Notre Dame. He's an offensive guy, but he gave the power to his defense. He hired the coaches he paid the most money to were the defensive coaches. Urban is definitely It was him and Mullins and offense that they brought in there. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think I understood the spread option, what it was. It's a power offense, as you know, like a single wing, but with getting the ball in the hands of the best players. He's an offensive coach.
Yeah. Greg says on YouTube, brought to you by Qual Plum, this Gators team is wait till next year again, but I already lived through that era. Well, you're gonna go back to that era because again, I'm a big believer in this. Your Hall of Fame coaches, your great coaches kind of spoil people because, buddy, that's what Florida football was before Orr got here, correct?
Right. Correct.
Okay.
And Spurrier spoiled it for everybody. Urban says Spurrier spoiled the Florida Georgia game because he won it 11 times, 10 out of 12. He said, I hated that game, he said, because Steve made it so unbearable if you didn't win it. He said, now I love it looking back at it now, but we got spoiled, Shane. You're part of the reason, pal. You helped doing it.
Correct. And that's why when we get off this show, I want you to go to Twitter, buddy, and listen to Dabo because everything that Dabo said in that made me think of 2001.
Really? Well, tell me about it. 2001. What happened to you in the SEC playoff game?
No.
What?
Buddy, I'd been in the NFL for like 12 years. 2001.
Or 2001. Wait, I'm sorry.
Is when the head ball
I'm thinking 1991. Yeah.
The head ball coach told everybody after the Orange Bowl, I'm out of here.
Yeah. Surprise. I was shocked.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. Go listen to it and tell me if it's not the same exact sound like the same scenario.
So you're saying coaches get it up to here, right? And they said, I'm done. I'm out. Finished. Like I said,
I think they, when you're in that leadership position, you shouldn't respond to stuff like that. But I think Dabo had enough. And
when you give everything you got, Shane, in any job you do, and you have success at it, and one day somebody thinks you're not the best person, it makes you want to give up and say, hell with you, I'm getting out of here. I don't even want to be here, I'm not appreciated. Happened to me once in my newspaper career. And at the end, the people that were kind of sort of trying to run me off decided they wanted to keep me and tried to say, what is it going to take? I said, you know what? You ain't got nothing I want. At that point in time, you don't care. You just say, I'm out of here. I've been disrespected and not appreciated, so I'm out. And I think that's what you're talking about. Coach Spurrier was out. He was done. Finished.
Chris from Cottondale on the Titan Mar text line says, I agree with you about great programs and Hall of Fame coaches. I've been saying that about Florida for the last several years, but I am a huge Billy supporter, but his end game is something to be desired. He's also got to remember he's still a pretty young coach. And here's the other thing. People forget, was it 3 or 4 years ago, people were calling it, what was the Kirby Dumb or something. Remember, he made a dumb fake punt against Alabama. So, look, not every call, Coach Spurrier's made bad calls. Urban Meyer's made bad calls. All of them do. It's just snowball because we're not a very good football team. This is from Hunt on the Titan Mar text line. I feel like some of Gator Nation isn't appreciating how much better the offense has been playing this season. Graham Mertz is not the problem. Agree. Play calling is not the problem. Billy is still building the program, and Gator Nation has to be patient. Yes, Georgia got to the national title game in Kirby's second year, but he inherited a much better program with a solid foundation. Yeah, they won like 10 games the previous year. Thanks for responding to the text, he says. Thank you for watching. So anyway, buddy, what do you think about before we get you out of here, what do you think about the Arkansas game?
I hate to say must wins. I'm tired of saying that. This is one that's absolutely critical for Florida to win. They got a dude that can throw the ball pretty good. Is a heck of a good runner. We know that. They need a break somewhere along the line. They've lost 6 in a row, but they're coming to the swamp on a day when the all-black uniforms are one piece of it, whether we like them or not. I think people will get behind the team. I expect that the swamp will help them win that game. And I noticed only a 6-point favorite, which surprises me. I thought there'd be more. But yeah, they get back there. Yeah. But here's the thing. I know it sounds like it's not much, but winning and getting bowl eligible is a necessary step in the rehabilitation of this program. So when that happens, people will begin to feel a little better. But if they can steal 1, maybe 2 games the rest of the way, then your season is successful. As they say in pool, Shane, when you're playing and the big numbers are still on the pool table, the game is still on the table here.
Yes. All right, buddy. Who you got on your program tonight?
It's Brendan Martin's co-hosting, and it'll be David Whitley and our cast of thousands, including Coach Lauren Meadows. We're going to talk about what else Florida. And by the way, don't forget basketball season coming around soon too. So, are you going to be?
I think they have I think they have an open scrimmage Thursday night.
Yeah.
We're going to have Chris Harry on
Mhm.
Thursday morning and talk Gator hoops.
Yeah. Well, Francis Owen talking last night. He said they're going to be better than last year. They won 2 exhibitions or whatever. So it sounds like they got a good team, and hopefully they'll transition right into that when the football season's over.
All right, buddy. Appreciate your time, my man. Have
Thank
a good
you,
day.
Shane.
Go watch the Dabo interview.
Okay, I'll go right now.
All right, that's Buddy Martin. Join us on the Titan No More hotline. Take a quick time out. Come back, man. I'm gonna try to get to as many YouTubes and Facebooks and Titan No More texts as I can. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the Morning. We want to take this moment to thank our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our premium sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, the only official injury and accident law attorneys of the Florida Gators. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Campus USA, put some star power to work in your financial life with Campus USA Credit Union. Dave & Buster's, eat, drink, play, watch. Duffield Home Improvements for your window, siding, and roofing needs. Radware, your local provider of promotional products, uniforms, and apparel. Our gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Silverback Concrete, Ruse Ogre State Farm Insurance, Radware, F45, Quality Plumbing. Our touchdown sponsors are Adams Ribs, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Okido America, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, Big Mills Cheesesteak, McDonald's of Gainesville, 84 Lumber, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, Silver Q Billiards and Sports Bar. If you're interested in promoting your business on the show, call Freddie at 352-284-3733. If you like what we're doing here, make sure to follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Pro football legend Emmitt Smith understands your joint pain.
It does not surprise me that there are a ton of people out there that's in pain.
That's why Emmitt is such a proponent of QC Kinetics, offering real lasting joint pain relief with non-surgical, all-natural biologic treatments.
Whether it's a joint pain, ankle pain, shoulder pain, neck pain, back pain, hip pain, any kind of pain, the body eventually will break down when it's under that much stress.
That stress can cloud your judgment to the point that you'll just say yes to the scalpel or yes to another prescription of pain pills. But maybe it's time for a second opinion from QC Kinetics.
The reason why I would recommend this is because the natural biologics that QC Kinetics is providing you gives your body a chance to naturally heal itself.
Restorative, regenerative solutions are here. Get lasting relief and live your life.
Call QC Kinetics 352-400-4550. That's 352-400-4550. QC Kinetics 352-400-4550.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. Large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Silverback Concrete's a family-led team of heavy concrete specialists that build commercial structures with unrivaled quality. Silverback Concrete, you stand on it, we stand by it. I want to thank Buddy Martin for joining us on the Titan No More hotline. A lot of people talking about Arkansas. Arkansas is coming in here. I think they're 2-6 off a bye week, and they changed their offensive coordinator. So we'll see what happens there. I don't know if Rocket Sanders, their star tailback, will play or not. He hadn't really played much this year at all. The Gators are wearing black. It is a noon game. If you're going to wear black, make sure you hydrate. I don't think it's going to be very hot, though. I think it's going to be in the 60s, believe it or not. Chad says, a couple questions. This is brought to you by Meldon Law. Does Crawshaw need to speed up? Gosh dang it. It goes away every time I start to read it. Does Crawshaw need to speed up his punt time? Are Gene and Burt not ready to play? Thought they would be more of a factor. Yeah, I think Andy Gene's got a hamstring is what I've been told. I don't know why Marcus Burke. I thought he would have played last week. We need speed out there. Those guys can run. Greg says Arkansas will run the counter. Everybody runs the counter against us. It's a good ball play. The counter and the power. Gap scheme, block down, kick out. Ray says no one is falling out at 78 degrees. I agree with that. Let's get this text here. This is from William in Nashville, Tennessee. He says, Shane, why do you keep saying we don't need an offensive coordinator? I really think Billy is a great head coach and organizer, but not offensive coordinator. Okay. That's fine if you want to say that. But William, tell me who to hire. I need people when they just say we need an offensive coordinator. If y'all watch a lot of football or claim you do, tell me who you want. Because my argument is that Garrett Riley, who was the most sought after offensive coordinator in America last year from TCU, went to Clemson and they're 4-4 and they're not very good on offense. So I don't understand it. Barone on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, says Andy Jean has played 4 games already. If he's not 100% healthy, they may be protecting him a red shirt. That's a good point. But God, he can run, man. You know, a lot of times people worry about them knowing the offense. Just put them in there for a couple of plays that they know, and let's go play. Phil says, Shane, my wife and I are Georgia fans. Is that what that says? The class of 78, and they love my show. Okay. Well, appreciate you listening. I gave y'all a lot of love. I think Kirby's done an unbelievable job. Nora says Billy Napier needs to welcome Coach Mouse Holloway to lend him some speedsters like the days of Jeff Demps. Yeah. Those were good days. I mean, we got some guys that can run. Don't get me wrong there. Like I told you, I love our skill guys. Love them. I think they're good players. Again, I would love for us to line up with 1, 3, 6, and 8 and go play. Go play. Reggie asked Shane, why was Boardingham? Wait, what does it say here? Was Boardingham on the field during the first half? Yeah, he was there, not much. I don't know. I don't know why he wasn't starting or anything like that. I have no idea. Clayton says OC changing system will only set us back. Just fix the O-line and be more aggressive. Like we've been aggressive play calling wise. I mean, when you give up sacks and don't have time to get the ball off, that has nothing to do with the system, people. Again, my biggest concern is on the other side of the football. I guess I'm the only person that's concerned about that. We get pushed around way too much space to throw the football against us. But maybe I'm the only person that watches the defense. What happened in 1368? Is that what that said? My glasses are going by. I was at 1,368. I don't know what y'all are asking me to do there or what that number means. Oh, the metrics or something. Barone says O-line is a bigger issue than the OC. Defense is the biggest issue. I agree 1,000% with that. I agree with you, Barone. Appreciate you texting that. Chris says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, if Archie plays inspired football and upsets UF on Saturday, what happens? We'll be 5-4. That's what happens. Nobody's getting fired. If anybody that watches my show that thinks if we don't win another game that Billy Napier's getting fired, you're not paying attention to what's going on in college football or at the University of Florida. He's not going anywhere. They will give him at least until 2025. Michael says, Shane, we have no film to watch of Arkansas with new OC calling the plays. How do you feel they will attack since our defense is taking steps back? I forgot the guy's name. I think it's Guyton, the guy they promoted. What the coaches will do is they'll try to find tape of where if he called plays somewhere else. I just don't see Arkansas. They're going to do what they do, man. They got a big quarterback. They like to run him. He's not real elusive though. He's just powerful. He's not fast. So I think you're going to see a lot of quarterback runs, and I don't think you're going to see some brand new offense from Arkansas. So anyway. Oh, here it is. Joe says, I don't understand the comment to give Billy time to build the program. What are the metrics for that? Do we want to have more wins next year than this year? I can't, the rest of it went away. There's so many texts. Sorry about that. Another text here on the Titan MR text line. Shane, what are your thoughts on KJ Jefferson as a quarterback? He was the preseason All SEC quarterback, I think. I don't even think he'd be on the top five if the media or coaches voted this year. Hasn't had a great year. When I watched KJ play last couple years, he was a better runner. I haven't seen him really run the football well this year. He looks slow to me, or I should say slower. He can still run a little bit, but he's not as fast as and he's had a lot of injuries. Rocket Sanders is what makes that team go. So hopefully he doesn't play. Brandon says, where did it go? It had something to do with, well, if I can find it, I liked his text, but I can't find it. He needs to pop. Oh, here it is. Brandon says on Facebook Live, Shane, when you say UF doesn't invest as much as Alabama and Georgia does in football, can you elaborate? I don't know. I am guessing because you always hear the recruiting budgets and all that stuff. I don't know where that comes out, what publication, but they spend more money than us in that area. We've talked about it, or people have talked about it on this show. Honestly, I don't believe Alabama and Georgia's athletic programs. Do they care about winning in the other sports? Yes. Do they really, really care? No. Do they want to win in football? Absolutely. That's all they care about. We like to win in everything. You know, you see Gator fans on Twitter, the all everything school or whatever. That's just who we are. We've always been really good in spring sports. You can't say that about Alabama and Georgia. They care about one thing and one thing only, and that's getting to Atlanta and winning national titles when it comes to football. Natasha says 1, 3, 6, and 8. The players we'd love to see on the field at one time. There ain't no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Okay, back to YouTube. Quality Plumbing. Rod says, Shane, why is Brian Kelly, Mario Cristobal, and Brent Venables doing better than Napier in their second year? I would not say Miami is a better football team than Florida. Their record may indicate that, but they have played nobody. I mean, they beat Texas A&M. Did they lose? No, they didn't lose. Somehow they beat Virginia. They lost to Georgia Tech, who's horrible. Venables had a bad first year because he lost his quarterback in like game 3. Plus, if you look at the Big 12 that they're playing in, I saw something the other day. Outside of Oklahoma and Texas, the other teams were like 4 and 30 something. I can't remember the exact stat, but you can't compare that. I mean, they're in a different league, man. Brian Kelly's in our league. He has the guy that should win the Heisman Trophy, in my opinion, Jalen Daniels. He probably won't, but our defense is actually right. Our defense is actually better than LSU's, believe it or not, statistically, which is surprising. So, but I don't think Mario Cristobal is a very good head coach at all. I will take Billy Napier over him any day of the week. Any day of the week. 1966 HBC beers available at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, Gator Games in the Swamp, and select retail outlets. Crisp American Lager, 1966 HBC beer. Also want to get to this day in sports, which is brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union. Put some star power to work in your financial life with Campus USA Credit Union. This day in sports, in 2014, Greg Maddox, Tom Glavine, Frank Thomas, Bobby Cox, Tony La Russa, and Joe Torre are inducted on this day into the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. Those are some good folks, good players right there, and coaches, managers, what have you. That's this day in sports, brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union. Norris says mine's going crazy with their new coach every time he loses, and they are losing a lot. Yeah, I don't know why somebody thinks that he's having a better year or a better coach than Billy Napier. He's not. Alan says, Shane, you say Napier's it. This is Napier's transfer, O-line, D-line, QB, receiver, blah, blah. What's the excuse now for coaching? His play calling now what? I'm not making excuses. Look, I, you're that person. I want you to go listen to Dabo's thing, man. Go listen. Just do me a favor, Alan. Whether you like me or not or agree with me, go listen to Dabo. You're that other guy he's talking to. North Florida Bear on YouTube says Charlie Strong, Greg Madison, Bob Stoops. Can Austin compare to the? I mean, it's time will tell. Those guys had multiple NFL players. Think about Charlie was never a defense. Was Charlie a defense coordinator here? I thought he was just a linebacker coach. Madison had a ton of NFL guys under Urban. Stoops had a ton of NFL guys. I think Billy will get NFL guys on that side of the ball. And I like Austin Armstrong a lot. He's just young. I mean, he's 30 years old. So where do you find the Dabo interview? If you're on Twitter, just go. It is all over it. Or if you just Google it, it's his call-in show. It's outstanding. I loved it. I love it. Some of y'all may not like it, but I loved it. Radware is a family-owned business that prides itself on excellent customer service while providing quality and affordable promotional products and customized apparel. Don't forget tonight you got Game 4 of the College World Series of the World Series. You got the Rangers have a 2-1 lead. I think there's some college football tonight. I guarantee you. Oh, we got some action. Too bad JC and I aren't doing our Peachland Dental picks tonight. But you got Northern Illinois, Central Michigan, and Coach McElwain. And then you got Buffalo and Toledo. So, yeah, you got some college football, some baseball. You got NBA's cranking up. I don't even know what's going on in the NBA. Such a long season. Somebody sent me a text too, wanting my thoughts on that hockey incident overseas that killed that guy. I saw the video. It is just horrific. Just slit his neck, and there was nowhere that they could save the guy. If you haven't seen that, check that out too. It's terrible. Barone says correct. Shane, Miami's played no one, and their big wins are versus 3 loss, soon to be 5 loss TAMU and 4 loss Clemson. Yes. So I don't think they're very good. Okay, this Shane wants to know on YouTube, on Facebook. I know we need to give Billy time, but how long do we give him, Shane? We need to give him as much time as he wants because think about this. Think about this. Ever since Urban, we've had Muschamp, McElwain, Mullen. We're on our 4th coach and since what? 2009, 2010. I mean, that's in 13 years. You just got to let it run its course. Again, I go back to folks. Who you gonna hire? Who you gonna hire? I need names. I need names. Somebody give me names. Who would you want? If you could just roll out a check, or they would come here. Who would you hire? Andy asks, why would anyone want James Harden on? Who does James Harden play for? And I don't even know who he plays for. Reggie says we're one more bite away from being Nebraska. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just look, just Kiffin. He won't Kiffin, okay? So Kiffin's done a great job at Ole Miss. I agree. I like Lane. I just you talking about Billy Napier, people bitching and complaining about his 4th and 1s. Y'all would go. My show would blow up on air with all the texts and stuff after the idiotic stuff that he does as a coach. Going for it multiple times, 4th and 5 from your own 30, things of that nature. The Louisville coach. I've been wanting Jeff Braun for years. I don't know. Still don't know why y'all think he needs to get OC. Again, y'all need to worry about the other side of the ball. The other side of the ball. Trust me on that. All right. Appreciate y'all chiming in. We've had great comments. I can't get to all of them. I apologize. But I appreciate everyone chiming in. I appreciate my man Buddy Martin for joining us. You can listen to Buddy every weeknight about 9 p.m. Eastern on, is he on YouTube and Facebook Live? I think both. So, all right. Have a great day, folks. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.